Hey, this is a video for Rochelle. I see David's already responded to you. I've been in the AI space for quite a while, since the very beginning. In fact, I'm a 24-year veteran of the SEO space, which is search retrieval, which is pre-AI training. And Rochelle, I just want to kind of respond to you since it's a Sunday. My wife and we have a company called Super-Intelligent.ai, and she's of course doing taxes, so that's not very fun. So while I'm waiting to go over some of we are using some AI technology to do that, but we're also looking at all the different AI toys that we've purchased, as well as, for example, the software technologies that we use. We're early adopters and everything. And so as a 24-year vet of search retrieval industry in our own network and community called Super Intelligent AI, we are very supportive of what David's doing here, and love all the teaching that he's provided, and want to continue to help people understand a very strange environment that we're in. And so here's the thing that I'm going to address. The recent merger of some very large super intelligent AI tokens called ASI on the blockchain, and with crypto and all the crazy kind of crypto hype, the hype cycle that's been going on. We are really in a situation that the big corporate conglomerates, which is the question that you asked, are really making a lobby for centralization of power, which is nothing new. It's never been anything new for Microsoft. OpenAI's involvement with Microsoft, and the fact that Adam D'Angelo of Quora remains on the board of directors at OpenAI, and his Poe technology inside of Quora. We teach a lot of students around the world how to use Quora and the rest for certain kinds of aspects of business. We've been able to watch what's happening. So what's really happening, as my contacts in Silicon Valley, is that Q-Star, which is a very, very advanced AI system, which we believe, again, I'm former military intelligence in the 90s. I was an electronic warfare and cryptologist. So I kind of understand how information warfare works, and how cryptology works, and how secrets are kept within the Department of Defense. I would say that pretty much the situation here is they're releasing a significant amount of technology that I think DARPA and the NSA has kept quiet. However, the emerging of natural language processing and natural language learning models has changed the game a bit. These were not the kind of protocols and technologies that the military was that interested in. And ironically, the language learning models that are now consumer grade, we're talking OpenAI 3.5, we're talking about ChatGPT 3.5 moving to 4 and all the way up into 7. I think the language learning models that have been released to the public, because there's such a public usage of chatbots, I think it was kind of unexpected for the military. In other words, the application of novelty and new insights, including insights that are going to profoundly affect the material sciences. For example, Google's AlphaFold, which has, of course, created entirely new protein models, and then proven that those models can be manufactured in new types of proteins. The elephant in the room is obviously the military deployment of superintelligence and artificial general intelligence, which is inevitable. Part of the reason we've named our company Super Intelligent AI, even though we're essentially a search retrieval optimization company combined with AI optimization, and we're moving towards that, is that we can see the writing on the wall that the centralization of artificial intelligence chatbots and chat swarms, the idea that you or I think this is going to speak to your question, the idea that you or I, the average small business, even if we're a tech business, will have access to their own personal assistant, like Rabbit or any of these other kind of things that are coming out, or, the centralization of all this power is basically moving to the corporations. For example, you have, and by the way, I think that's part of David's group here, is this dream, the dream of AI, we have to be very careful with, because we're watching a massive centralization of AI. This dream of a super intelligent, kind of chatbot or personal assistant that does everything, and including the horrible stuff that my wife is doing over there in the corner, which is taxes. And we're seeing a rapid deployment and movement towards those things, but the first mover's advantage seems to be coming to the E5 through E7 corporations and higher over at Microsoft. In other words, Microsoft doesn't have the same processing or compute power as Google does. In fact, Google makes almost everybody else's compute power for AI look pretty silly. What we've noticed is that there's a lot of collaboration going on at the upper ends. I could tell you some stories as well, but the competition between Google and Microsoft is mostly a ruse, because Google has a significant amount of the processing power. They have a friendly competitive venture happening where when it comes to the commercial grade aspects of search and commercial grade use of AI, they kind of pretend that they're not all working together. There is some friendly competition between the billionaire tech bros, but for the most part, they're sharing massive amounts of data behind the scenes. We know this because we're in search, and we can give you exact examples of data and collaborations that these tech giants, Microsoft and Google specifically, are in collaboration, and they really shouldn't be. And you wouldn't do that unless you were deep under the hood of the engine of the search retrieval systems. And a simple example of that is like Google business profiles, which are Google businesses in the United States, are talking fluently back and forth with Bing Places. And they're sharing massive amounts of data using API and the rest. And they've never really done that before. So I gave you a whole bunch more, but you get the idea. So the long and the short of it is, yes, there is a massive offensive taking place between people like David, who's created this group, and his teaching how to be prompt engineers and these types of things, how to become great prompt engineers, and these giant corporate oligarchies that really only want this super intelligent and AGI to be in the hands of Fortune 500 companies first, Fortune 5,000 maybe. The way that we deal with that is we take a stand with the recent merger of Singularity and Fetch.ai and their new token, their new blockchain token. Of course, then Ocean, there's another one. It's a merger between three companies, Fetch, Singularity, and the third one is Ocean Strategy. So these three tokens and companies have merged together in order to take a stand for open source AI. So when we're talking about open source AI, we're really talking about, again, Mark Zuckerberg's putting on a good show to try to keep Llama open source. There's a massive war happening, and we're on the side of the little guy, which is why we're part of this group in this room. There's going to be massive open source programs available to everyone, so that even though Microsoft won't necessarily give us a super intelligent AI when it releases in 2027, I think they have most of it in the box, by the way. Ilya Sutskever at OpenAI has leaked some things. The high school musical chairs happening over at the OpenAI board of directors, that happened a couple months back. That's all about QStar. And we've confirmed that from a variety of different people. QStar is literally something that can plan your whole vacation for you. Do everything except tuck your kids into bed. Okay. And when the robot army comes with QStar embedded in their neural network, they'll be able to do that as well. So what's going to happen is everybody's really going to have to decide what side they're on. And I hate to be polarizing, but there really is a very deep-seated conflict between open source AI and the corporate conglomerates that can leverage the compute. The hidden gem here is that Google has the monster amount of compute required to master these language learning models. And the recent announcement that they would like to launch Stargate. Let me give you an example of how big the AI compute center for Stargate will be as they are currently planning the specs. And they have to acquire almost $1 trillion of investment capital to run these out. These farms will be able to run massive amounts of compute. And the question becomes, what will they use this compute for? Are they going to use it to cure cancer? Or are they going to use it to run the world? Or as Putin of Russia said, whoever has QStar first runs the world. So yeah, the Chinese saying, may you live in interesting times, as being both a blessing and a curse. Well, we're here. Main thing to know about Stargate and the compute center that they want to build, which is all Microsoft, OpenAI, and about $500 billion so far of investment capital, is they have to put out in the desert somewhere. They have to create their own power center. If they were to turn this on and if they were to turn on this data center, for example, 5 miles outside of the city of Austin, where one of our startups is, they would blow the grid in Austin. Okay, you can't run Stargate, which is an AI compute center, which is, I think, 190% more powerful than their current OpenAI Microsoft Compute Center, which runs all of your, every time you're logged into OpenAI and you're chatting around with ChatGPT-4, you're using Microsoft's Compute. That's why Sam Altman merged with them. So we're dealing with massive amounts of power. To give you an idea of how much power we're looking to compute to affect the material sciences, which is the ability to do science 100 million years faster than human beings can do it as a team, when we work as a team, which is rare. We're going to need so much power that they're actually talking about nuclear reactors running these data centers, which I predict will happen. Right now, it's the only real viable source. Solar energy doesn't even come close to providing enough compute for the Stargate computational centers, which are going to allow non-trained AI to train itself, just like Go trained itself on playing Go. First, they trained on humans, then it used all the data sets of humans to train, and then the training occurred with itself, and then it plays itself until it can't beat itself. And then the AI programs that play itself get so good that it's creating moves that are not conceivable within the human condition. Okay, we don't understand what it's doing, which is why we force a lot of the AI language models to, comment its code and let us know how they come to its conclusions, because we're essentially creating an alien life form. So what you really have to be asking yourself is this about hypercapitalism, or is this about the future of mankind? And then how do we use this now so that you don't have to work 2,000 hours a week? Which of course there isn't. But the question is, my wife keeps me very grounded in all this stuff, okay? Because as you can see, I'm well versed and well ahead of where things are going to be. And I think David, who runs this community and has acquired all these people just to help everyone with the basics of prompt engineering, it's kind of amusing, it's like they're not fooling anybody with prompt engineering. It's like, what does that mean? Really, it's just like you're the super complicated question guy, okay? As if AI is not going to be able to come up with better prompts for itself, right? So I think we have a shelf life with prompt engineering. And the real question that we need to start asking ourselves is, are you on team human or are you on team robot? As Larry from Google has confessed, he's on team robot. So the bigger question will be, in our community, super-intelligent AI, and we're going to be collaborating more and more with David because we're on the same page with stuff, is the human in the loop, the expert in the loop. How can we help you? And how can, like Kaylin and I run our small business with a couple of sales members and a few other team members, and we have our son who maintains our servers. What is the real product that's coming? The real product is going to be this conversation I'm having with you right now. Like, for example, this conversation I have with you came out of the fact that you're a human being and you asked a really amazing question. And I'm kind of embarrassed to say, I'm not really sure I would answer your question intimately, human to human, maybe 5 years ago, because I was profiteering and I was trying to figure out what's the best way to just rapidly make money, right? But now it's like, okay, here's a human who's asking a group of humans what to do and if we're going to become obsolete in our entirety. And the answer is, we won't become obsolete if we stick together and remember that humans buy products. Right now, robots are not yet, at least in most cases. There is a couple of exceptions I've encountered. I hate to say. Right now, humans buy products. AI does not generally buy products or make purchasing decisions for the layman. Okay? And so what I'm really getting at here is organize your products in the same way that David has created this community, or that Kaylin is organizing our community in collaboration with these different communities. We're in it with each other. We all have to make money insofar as the money system remains completely disinfected by tokens like ASI, Artificial Superintelligent Token. I predict that the war for the petrodollar, which is basically why the bloodbath around the world is happening in Ukraine and Russia, and there's a bunch of different conflicts. I'm not here to get political or religious. I'm just telling you that the petrodollar is losing its grip and it's shifting into crypto. Even though crypto failed in its revolutionary rebellion, it's now succeeding in the middle tier investors with some big parties like BlackRock and investing in their own cryptos and tokens. And there's a huge transformation of the global economy that's going to occur, there's no question. And with Sam Altman releasing his paper yesterday and having the audacity to say, hey, what we're building is going to replace all human labor. Okay, that's not really team human. Okay, so where the products that are going to survive are groups and communities like the one that you and I are talking in right now, or the one that my wife runs for us. It's going to be products where humans are involved. It's going to be insurance decision and voice of reason, like the voice of reason I'm giving you right now is an expert opinion with 25 years in pre-AI training and machine learning. So make products that help other people. Okay, I predict there's going to be a very strange uprising of people who feel incredibly isolated, like we did during COVID, and who even feel more isolated, like the kids who kill themselves because of social media abuse. And you've got parents, you know, at the congressional hearings sitting there with their kids' pictures, you know, showing them to everybody while all the trillion-dollar tech bros tell partial truths about how much data they actually have on all of us. Okay, these are products. Human in the loop and human suffering in the loop is not going to end. So pick products, services, training courses, educational processes to help people weather the change, and let compassion drive the products that you create. Okay, and I know that's hard to hear, but it's really where things are at. We've been able to predict this for a while, and insofar as we move in the direction of creating community, things have gone amazingly well. But when we move outwards into raw automation, where we're just using AI to create more AI that builds more artificial intelligence e-commerce, which then reduces more and more humans, this is going to create a revolution that is going, while we have money as a factor, we're going to have to make sure that if we're on Team Human, we provide products and services that help humans. That's the big one. And insofar as hypercapitalism ends and we truly do have a universal basic income, you know, we're ready for that as well with our site universalbasicincome.ai. We'll prepare for all that stuff. So we're hedging bets on all sides of things, and just want you to know that yes, there's huge products available and services for the person and the communities that are not standing against, but standing in contradiction against corporate centralization and conglomeration, where open source AI products and services become the norm, and where we all start contributing, building our own AI swarms, and designed to help the human in the loop. Okay, anyway, that's a long rant, but it's Sunday. I better get back to doing taxes and writing off all these AI products that we bought, because my wife keeps asking me, what's this product? What's this AI product? And what is that? Because we test a lot of them. But I look forward to talking to you guys in a different forum. Again, my name is Russell Wright from super-intelligent.ai. I look forward to seeing you on the inside, and I'll reach out to you in different venues inside this group. Thanks.